He never ran a charter, never threw a patch over his shoulder. But somehow Dave Mann ended up drawing the entire outlaw world into focus. Before documentaries, podcasts, or memoirs, there were his centerfolds. 30 years of Easyriders pages soaked in smoke, chrome, and silence. He painted bikers as they saw themselves, not as criminals but as ghosts, cowboys, knights, wolves, outlaws with codes, loners with pride, machines as horses. Some said he showed too much. Others said he made them look better than they deserved. But Mann didn't take sides. He painted what he saw and let the world deal with it. He wasn't trying to become a legend. He was trying to keep one alive. This is the story of the man behind the mythology, and what it cost him to make sure it wouldn't be forgotten. Before he became the biker world's mythmaker, Dave Mann was just a kid from Kansas City with a paintbrush and a thing for chrome. He didn't start with motorcycles. Custom cars were his first obsession. By his late teens, he was laying down paint in auto shops and sketching hot rods on every scrap he could find. Women, wheels, and flames. It was style without story, until the story found him. In 1963, Mann brought a few of his canvases to the Kansas City Custom Car Show. One in particular, Hollywood Run, stopped Tom Fugel in his tracks. Fugel wasn't just another artist. He was a biker, and he saw something in Mann's lines that felt more honest than most photos. He sent a snapshot of the painting to Ed Big Daddy Roth, publisher of Chopper's magazine. Roth didn't hesitate. He commissioned Mann for a series of posters, giving him his first national audience and his first taste of the biker world's loyalty.
You know, Dave started doing that artwork poster series, and it was for Ed Big Daddy Roth. I think he did somewhere close to 30 in that series. But if you can get your hands on one of those early Big Daddy Roth posters, I think they say Roth 66 or something, you can find Dave Mann's signature or autograph, whatever you want to call it, hidden somewhere in the poster on the bike somewhere.
By 1965, Mann wasn't just painting bikers. He was riding with them. He joined El Forastero Motorcycle Club, becoming one of the founding members of its Kansas City charter. What started as observation quickly turned into immersion. The sketchbook followed him everywhere. In 1971, he answered a small ad in the back of a new magazine. Easyriders was looking for a motorcycle artist. His submission was accepted. By 1973, his work became the magazine's center spread, appearing monthly for the next 30 years. But Mann wasn't interested in glorifying the club scene. He painted its ghosts, its friction, its wild contradictions. Chopper riders in mirrored poses with medieval knights. Lone bikers shadowed by gunfighters. Surreal highways. Spectral passengers. Judgmental cops and jealous husbands. His art didn't flirt. It told the truth. Mid-1970s, Dave Mann had given outlaw bikers a visual language, whether they liked it or not. His prints filled garages, tattoo shops, clubhouses, and bedrooms. Some loved what he showed. Others felt exposed. He didn't ask permission. He didn't soften the edges. He just kept painting. Because he wasn't documenting rebellion. He was building its mythology, one brush stroke at a time. Hey brothers, tired of YouTube's BS and censorship? It's time to break free. That's why I've shifted gears to Patreon, where I can bring you the raw, uncensored content you crave. Join my Patreon crew and get an insane package deal. Exclusive early access to all videos, days before YouTube, 100% ad-free viewing experience. Uncensored, no-holds-barred community discussions, double the content. 2 killer videos every single week, VIP access, direct interaction with yours truly, inside scoop, exclusive biker world updates you won't find anywhere else. Ready to join the elite? Hit that Patreon link now. Your support doesn't just keep us rolling, it fuels a revolution of uncensored, unrestricted content. Join now and unlock a world of exclusive benefits. By the early 70s, Dave Mann had become Easyriders' visual identity. Every month, the centerfold was his. Painted stories soaked in exhaust and dream logic. He never reused an idea. He never rushed a line. The work was precise, surreal, and packed with symbols. A biker beside a ghostly knight, a trucker staring down a cop. Lovers in motion, enemies in chrome.
He got really deep in with Easyrider, became part of that crew. I will say this, Tiny from SFV always had Dave Mann's back, and he helped me develop a close relationship with Dave Mann. I've got some personal experiences with Dave. I petitioned him to do a new poster for the movie Hell's Angels Forever. Never really got off the ground. There was a lot of controversy about who was going to be in charge, who owned the movie. Sandy had left the club. The movie was really Sandy's project, but now it belonged to the club. It was a club movie and it belonged to the club. And we sort of abandoned that. I wound up with that Dave Mann poster. I sell it, copies of it. It's called Busting Out.
To most readers, he was untouchable. But inside the clubhouses, some felt differently. Because Dave wasn't just capturing culture. He was capturing them. The gear, the body language, the glances. Some of it hit too close. A few believed he'd painted actual people, lifted from runs, meetings, or club lore. And worse, he made it beautiful.
But Dave also did, I want to show you this, he also did another painting. You can see it here. It's a fight, and this fight took place down in Ventura on the beach. And, you know, here was another actual incident that happened. Most of the posters you'll see that Dave did in the early days had to do with some sort of event in the outlaw bike world.
Behind closed doors, questions started. Was he revealing too much? Was he too close to outsiders? Too eager to mythologize what was meant to stay unspoken? Nobody confronted him outright, but the respect grew cautious. Some called him dangerous, others called him loyal. He heard both and kept painting. His loyalty to El Forasteros was never in doubt, but the same couldn't be said for other clubs. When he helped launch a new charter, El Fusteros, alongside Tom Fugel, he left under tension. Details blurred. Some say he was pushed, some say he walked.
He started picking up a lot of flack for these posters. People felt he was revealing too much about the outlaw scene. A lot of the guys took offense, and he left the El Fusteros on bad terms.
What's certain is this: the split cut deep, and still the work never stopped. The Easyriders centerfolds kept coming. Bolder, more symbolic, more layered. He started painting not just bikers and enemies, but reflections. The outlaw looking like a cowboy, the outlaw as a ghost. The outlaw seen through the eyes of people who didn't understand and those who did. That duality became his trademark and also his threat. He was walking a line no one else dared to touch, an insider with outsider reach. Some members kept his prints hidden, others framed them in plain sight.
The second poster Dave Mann did for me was the Olympic torch. And, you know, these are originals. They're not part of the posters that we ran off. These are actual original paintings or whatever you want to call them. This depicted the torch run. And we were selling those to the public for a while, and then they stopped. You know, now I own the possession of them, they're mine.
A few muttered about his hand, what it painted, and whether it should keep painting.
This is something I remember, and I may have gotten it through the Satan Slaves, but there was talk, some people were talking about, we want to cut Dave Mann's hand off because he was revealing all these secrets. Whether that's true or not, I don't know.
He never commented, never picked sides, never slowed down, because Dave Mann knew exactly what he was doing. He wasn't just painting bikes. He was painting what it felt like to live outside the rules, even if that meant getting burned by the people he rode for. In the end, it wasn't betrayal or backlash that stopped Dave Mann. It was his body. By the early 2000s, his health had begun to fail. He held on for as long as he could, each centerfold in Easyriders another act of loyalty, another month holding the mythology together. But by 2003, the streak ended. He stepped away after 30 years of uninterrupted storytelling. The next year, he died, one day after his 64th birthday. Before the end, a tribute had already begun. A custom motorcycle was being built in his honor by Orange County choppers, set to feature on American Chopper. The bike was designed in Mann's signature style, sweeping lines, airbrushed fire, and a tribute to the stories he told without words. He never got to see it finished. The episode aired with his name on it. The bike rolled without him, and suddenly the man who'd painted legends had become one. His ashes were meant to be sealed inside a Harley Sportster XLCH, painted in a deep tone known as David Mann Red. That was fitting. His legacy wasn't meant to hang on walls, it was built to ride. After his death, his place in the culture only grew. He was inducted into the Motorcycle Hall of Fame in 2004. His name was given to a new gathering, the David Mann Chopper Fest, held every year in Ventura, California, where painters, builders, and riders still gather beneath his silhouette. Today, his art sells for thousands, some pieces reaching $25,000 to $30,000.
Dave was on good terms, probably the last 20 years of his life, 25 years of his life. I know there's still a lot of posters floating around from Easyrider magazine. You get your hands on an original. They're starting to be worth some money. I think some of them are selling $25,000, $30,000. I think that, someday they'll be very, very valuable.
But it was never about the money. It was about memory, documentation, legacy. He painted what others feared to admit. He held up a mirror to a world that valued secrecy, loyalty, and code, and dared to make it public. Not as exposé, but as homage. The same clubs that once questioned his loyalty now celebrate his vision. And though he never wore a patch at the top of the table, Dave Mann left behind something patches never could. Proof of the life, of the road, of what it felt like to ride inside the myth, before the myth had a name.